11 Social determinants of your health. What are determinants of health? Determinants are the social factors that influence a person's health status. These determinants can be divided into three categories: economic circumstances, social environment, and physical environment. It is important to note that determinant does not just refer to individual characteristics of an individual, it also refers to the macro-level contextual influences in which people live. In this video, we will discuss 11 social determinants that have been found to contribute significantly to one's health status or well-being. Number 1, poverty. The determinants that are more social in nature have a huge impact on health status. For example, poverty is one of the largest determinants for poor health. Specifically, low income has been linked to poorer mental and physical health outcomes, for example, higher blood pressure. This link between increased risk for disease and lower socioeconomic position holds true not only in adulthood but also during childhood years. Children who live below the federal poverty line, $23,850 per year, often show reduced cognitive skills as well as an increased likelihood of obesity. Similarly, children from families at or near this level are more likely than their counterparts with higher incomes to experience stressors such as hunger or sleep deprivation, which can negatively influence their school performance. Number 2, social environment. A number of determinants that are more social in nature have a huge impact on health status. For example, one determinant is the social environment, which includes access to and quality of education as well as living situation, for example, overcrowding. Number 3, physical environment. The determinants that are more physical in nature have a huge impact on health status. For example, one determinant is the physical environment, which includes exposure to contaminated drinking water or lack of safe sanitation facilities, leading to increased rates of diarrheal disease and other illnesses. Number 4, environmental justice. Many determinants go unnoticed because they are part and parcel of our everyday lives. Environmental determinants can be more difficult to identify at first glance because they are part and parcel of our everyday lives, including determinants such as housing, which may include social conditions, for example, overcrowding, quality and number of rooms per person, presence/absence of running water inside the house. Number 5, gender. The determinant that is most closely tied to health status is gender. For example, women in poverty face a higher risk than men living below the federal poverty line, $23,850 per year. This disparity leads not only to increased rates for mental illness but also an overall shorter life expectancy from causes related specifically to females' health. Number 6, race. Another determinant that is closely tied to health status, as well as social determinants in general, is race or ethnicity. For example, African Americans are more likely than Caucasians to be unemployed for long periods of time and thereby experience higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Additionally, they have a shorter life expectancy due mainly to disparities related specifically to their racial grouping. Number 7, disability. The determinant most closely tied with health status also relates strongly to social determinants, that being disability, where the World Health Organization, WHO, defines it as an umbrella term referring both to impairments on one's body or mind or diseases such as HIV, which affects not only physical health but also mental well-being. In fact, there are determinants of health that are not easily identified at first glance, such as norms related to body image or beliefs about determinants of health. In a study on disability, it was found that there is a high prevalence of chronic conditions, which includes heart diseases, asthma, etc. in individuals with disabilities, where these were shown to be more common in persons with disabilities. This can lead to higher risk factors including depression, which then affects general well-being and quality of life as well as physical activity levels. When living with a disability, we see higher risks associated with mental illness like anxiety disorders and panic disorders. Number 8. Income. The determinant most closely tied with health status is also the one over which individuals have the least amount of control, that being income and wealth, where people living in poverty face a higher risk than those who live on median incomes. This leads to increased rates for mental illness, cardiovascular disease, and shorter life expectancy. One determinant that may be more difficult to identify at first glance is social conditions, for example, overcrowding. Additionally, there are other determinants like environmental justice, defined by WHO as a set of principles aimed at ensuring that no person's right to a healthy environment is violated, which have an impact on health status. Number 9. Norms related to body image. Norms are often less visible than determinants but can have a significant impact on the health status of individuals. For example, there are norms related to body image where many people feel pressure from society, etc. Number 10. Beliefs about determinants of health. Another determinant that has been found by WHO specifically in developing countries is beliefs about determinants of health. For example, many people have the belief that determinants are either determined by fate or social status. In order to have a fully functioning body and mind, determinants of health must be considered. Social determinants are the most closely tied with health status because they can affect quality of life directly and indirectly through mental illness or chronic conditions such as heart disease. If you would like help in identifying determinants that may be having an impact on your own life, our team is ready to provide assistance in creating a plan that will address these concerns head-on. Just let us know what type of social determinant has caused the most issues for you so we can get started right away.